Yeah. All right. So this video is an introduction to Windows 8. I watched the first 5 minutes of it, and I discovered a couple of things that I didn't know. So this ought to be good. So we'll just go ahead and we'll play that.
In this tutorial, we will briefly go over the new Windows 8 user interface and how to use the Start screen and Charm bar to accomplish the same tasks we used to perform with the old Windows Start menu. This is a major change to the core way in which users have grown accustomed to using Windows since the introduction of the Start menu with Windows 95. This tutorial should be perfect for any user who is new to Windows 8 and wants to quickly learn the new Windows 8 interface. Instead of Windows loading to the desktop as it did in the past, it now loads to the Start screen. The new Start screen instead presents you with dynamic tiles for the installed applications that have been created as Windows 8 apps. These were formerly known as Metro apps. Applications written to run on versions of Windows previous to 8, such as Vista or 7, will still run perfectly as a Windows 8 desktop application. The apps that show up here are designed to run across desktops, laptops, tablets, smartphones, and even the new Xbox One. To get to the desktop, you can either click the double-wide desktop tile, or by using the keyboard shortcut of the Windows key plus D. When on the desktop, you can open the Start screen by clicking the Start button, or if you prefer, you can just press the Windows key on the keyboard. If we open a Windows 8 app like Maps, you will notice that it takes up the entire screen, and it's not launched on the traditional Windows desktop. To close out any Windows 8 app, you need to move your mouse to the top center of the screen until you see the small hand icon. You then click and drag to the bottom of the screen and release. If you don't want to close out the Windows 8 app completely, but you do want it to run in the background, you can click in the top center of the screen and then drag to the left side of the screen and dock it. With this being the last app open, it leaves the bar open so that you can select a previous running app, or you can click the Start button to return to the Start screen. To start a previously launched app, you can hold your mouse at the bottom left of the screen until you see the Start button, and then drag the mouse up and select the app. Clicking the Start button here will open the currently running Windows 8 app screen. Let's close this out. You can also have two Windows 8 apps open at the same time. To do this, open up whatever application you want for your first app. We will open the Calendar app. Then this time, we'll bring the mouse to the top center of the screen. But instead of dragging from the top to the bottom to close it out, we drag down and either to the left side or the right side to dock the application. Now one part of the screen is blank. Clicking in the blank space that shows up on the opposite side of the screen that you open the app will open back up the Start screen. The next Windows 8 app that you open will dock to the other side. We will click Photos. If you look between the two open apps, there is a bar with 3 dots in the center that separate the open apps. To start off with, both apps open with each taking up half of the screen. We can set custom sizes by clicking on the separation line and releasing anywhere that it snaps. Let's go back to the Start screen. The default Start screen only contains the most commonly used apps. We can show all the other applications installed by clicking this down arrow icon. We will now see all the other applications installed on the system. If all the apps did not show up on the single screen, there would be a scroll bar horizontally at the bottom of the screen. We'll see Windows 8 apps at the beginning, as well as Windows Accessories, Windows System, and other categories and applications. We can also see any applications that we ourselves installed on the system, such as the WinDirStat application that I installed here. In addition to opening the application, we can right-click on the item once. This will place a check on the right side of the tile, and will open a new menu at the bottom of the window with tasks that are specific to the tile application. Let's right-click on WinDirStat to test. By selecting the WinDirStat application tile I have installed on this system, we can see the standard list of options. Pin to start. This option will add the select application to the base start screen, without having to right-click and select all apps on the toolbar. Pin to taskbar. This option will add the selected application to the taskbar on the traditional Windows desktop. Uninstall. This option will open Windows programs and features to allow you to run through the uninstall utility. Open new window. This will open the application on the Windows desktop, and it is essentially the same as left-clicking on the application to open it. Run as administrator. This option will open the application at the desktop, but instead of running it as the user you're currently logged into the computer as, it will run the application with the permissions from the administrator account on the computer. Open file location. This will open a Windows Explorer view of the shortcuts from the start screen used to launch the application. Find in Start. This will search the Start menu. You can deselect the item by clicking anywhere on the screen. Let's click to select Pin to Start. The Start screen will open with a newly pinned app on the far right. Let's go over the Windows Store. You can still download and install legacy Windows applications, like you have in previous versions of Windows, but you can now also use the Windows Store to download and install Windows 8 apps. When the Windows Store is first opened, the store will show spotlight items on the left. In the top right, you can search for the name of the app or enter a category or search term. At the bottom of the screen is a horizontal scroll bar that can be used to navigate through the Windows Store. The store is separated into categories that can be used to browse. Make sure that you pay attention to the cost of apps, if any. It will either list a price or show free. Let's click on the top free category to browse further. We can move back by clicking on the back arrow button. When we find an app that we want to install, we will click to open the details screen. Review the details, and then click the Install button. The new app will show up under the Additional Apps section in the Start screen. If we want to rearrange the order of any of the icons on the screen, we can simply click, hold, and drag to another location. Upon releasing, it will snap into place. We can also readjust the size of any of the tiles if we want. We do this by right-clicking on one of the tiles and clicking Resize. We then have the option of wide, medium, or small. Let's open the Windows desktop. Click the desktop icon. To complement a new start screen, Windows has added a new menu called the Charm Bar. The Charm Bar is a universal toolbar in Windows 8 that can be accessed from anywhere no matter where you are. There are two ways to open the Charm Bar. The first option is to move your mouse to the bottom right of the screen. You see the Charm Bar open to the right. The second option is to use the keyboard shortcut, which is the Windows key plus C. Using the keyboard shortcut keeps the menu open until you select an option or click outside of the bar. There are 5 primary options in the Windows 8 charm bar. Search. Windows 8 has consolidated all your searching needs together in the search function on the charm bar. Everywhere, as this implies, searches all the below categories. Settings. This will search through the various system settings only. Files. This searches through the files on your computer and any online connected storage like SkyDrive. Web images will start a web search for images, and web videos will start a web search for videos. Share. The Share menu will open a custom list of ways to share currently open Windows apps. If we had the Map app open, we would see a list giving us the option to share this map using the Mail People or Reading List apps. The list here is going to be different depending on what apps you have installed on your computer. Here we currently only have the option to share this screenshot using Mail. Start. This will open the start screen from wherever you're at. Devices. This option allows you to send the current screen data to another monitor, a printer, a phone, or another connected device. It only shows devices connected to the computer and ready to accept the screen data. Settings. The settings interface will open on the right side of the window. The available options will vary depending on whether you open this from a desktop, start screen, or another app. Let's go through the options in the settings screen. Control panel. This opens the control panel that we're all familiar with from Windows 7. Personalization. This opens the personalization window where you can change things like the desktop background, colors, and sounds. PC info. This opens the Windows System window. Here we can view information about the system and change additional settings. Help. This opens the Windows Help and Support window. The bottom of the settings screen allows you to view the networks the system is connected to, adjust the volume, adjust the screen brightness, adjust the time between notifications, and change keyboard settings. One of the options you'll probably be looking for first in Windows 8 is going to be how to turn it off or restart it. Here we can see the power option. By clicking on it once, we'll have 2 additional options to either shut down the system or to restart. The removal and replacement of the Start menu with the Start screen and the charm bar will take a bit of getting used to, but if you give Windows 8 a chance, you just might find that you like it.
Boy, do you think? A little bit of getting used to.
A little bit of training yourself to find, to search.
You were saying hold off on that though, eh? For a while yet?
In your case, if you're going to get done on a new computer, you're stuck with getting Windows 8.1.
I say we hold off for a while though.
Well, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. It'll be the fall. You're looking at 6 months anyway. Now, a couple of things about Windows 8. First off, the Windows Store. The Windows Store is not available to you unless you are logged in to the Microsoft network. Now, when your computer is first set up, there are 2 ways to do it. To have it as a Windows network computer, where you log in with your Windows email address or your email address, whatever you've set the computer up for, or as a local user. And that does, if you're a local user, that does away with the Windows network, and then the store is not available to you. To download apps, it's not available as a local user. The one thing about the Windows network being enabled, if you log in that way, is if you have other computers on the Windows network, the Windows 8 computer will take all of that information from all those other computers and synchronize it. So if you have appointments in your calendar on another computer, they're synchronized to Windows 8. You don't have to do it manually, it just does it. If you, the same with email. As a matter of fact, if you have email set up in Microsoft Outlook from Microsoft Office, and you install Microsoft Office on your new Windows 8 computer, it will synchronize everything. You don't have to redo your email addresses and your email. It will all just synchronize to Outlook on your new Windows 8 computer. It does it all by itself. It's really, really fantastic that way. It used to be a real battle to get computers to synchronize. In Windows 7, essentially it wasn't available. You could do it, but it wasn't available. So in Windows 8, it's the synchronization of all your machines, and the Microsoft network is available. Well, not an iPad, no. Yeah, but a Windows tablet and your Windows phone will synchronize to your new Windows 8 box. Okay, that was but it doesn't do it through your Windows 8 machine. It does it, does it? Well, you've got to have iTunes installed and open with your account. Then it will do it. Yeah, then it will do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's Apple being helpful through iTunes. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. Okay, that was what I wanted to talk about with the Microsoft network. What's the other thing? It escapes me for the moment. Any questions? Yeah. Any questions?
This other one is
It'll drive you
10?
nuts to sign into that.
Yeah.
Say the new one coming out is 10,
Yes.
and that'll be in the fall?
Yeah.
And will it be touchscreen?
Yes, it'll be touchscreen, and here again, it will have all of these goodies like synchronizing all your other Windows. You got Windows 7, so it'll synchronize with that.
Oh, yeah.
All of these goodies will be available as you saw them from Windows 8. Will be available in Windows. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. I remember now. Apps and applications are different. Okay? When he's talking about Windows apps, he's talking about these bare bones, stripped down pieces of software that will do your bidding. In the Windows 8 world, on your desktop, you have Internet Explorer as an application. It's the full-blown Internet Explorer. In the tiled menu, if you click on Internet Explorer, you get the app, which is, it does everything, but it's sort of a stripped-down version. It takes up the whole screen. You've got a real time and a half getting out of it. You have to use these apps to really get the full idea of what they can and cannot do. For the most part, people that are used to Windows go to the desktop and use the Windows applications there. Skype is the perfect example. Skype works well as an app. You launch Skype, you click on who you want to talk to, it calls them, it rings, they answer, you're talking to them on Skype. But you're talking to them in the app. And if you want to do more things in the app than are available there, you can't do them. You really have to be doing it on the Windows application from the desktop, where all of the other things are available to you that Skype does. It's a simplified, an app is a simplified version of what you want to do. If you just want to talk to your friends, use the app. If you want to do more in the way of configuration of your camera and the sound and all of that stuff, then use the application in the Windows desktop. So that's pretty much, I wanted to give you all a heads up on Windows 8. You're going to have to buy.
Because we have to wait till he checks out
Yeah.
and
Yeah. If
flaws in it or not.
yeah, well, if you're going to buy Windows 8 now because your computer gives up,
Yeah, exactly.
okay, that's fine. But this
I
is
say little
for
prayers
you.
to the little thing every day.
Yeah.
Please turn on and work, you know.
Yeah. Well, sometimes,
Well, I do
some days
that.
it's not
turns
going
on
to.
and works, but every time I press a button that I've never touched before, please let me be able to do this or get out of this and not just freeze there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found it very, very slow today, and I'm thinking, is it just because it's so cold? Or
No,
no, it's getting very.
it's getting very, very slow.
very, very
Things
slow,
are
pudgy.
things are getting in through your web browser, and it can't be helped. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions about Windows 8?
I'm going to come with him talking.
No.
No, I'm just I was curious to see, like what he
Yeah.
said, that if you want to put something on your own self, you know how you'll have to somehow get it.
Does the camera have to be enabled?
No. No, you can turn it off. However,
No,
if
when I bought it, he says, do you want the camera to work? And I thought, no, I don't want people to see me in my nightie sitting there kind of thing. So I said, no. Does it have to be turned on now? Because I said no.
here's the thing. Most cameras on laptops and even USB cameras that you use for your PC tower, there are hacks out there that can remotely turn them on and not let you know that it was done. Ordinarily, when you turn the camera on in Skype, a little red light comes on and says, hey, I'm on, you can talk to me now through the camera. There are hacks out there that turn the camera on so a viewer can see you, but he turns off the red light, so you don't know that it's active. Exactly, exactly. That's the fix, is to take a piece of masking tape and tape over the camera if you never want to use it. That's, if you're concerned about that kind of privacy, you can do that. All kinds of things can be turned on your computer remotely with the hacking tools that are out there. If someone can get onto your computer because they've done a spear phishing job on you through email, or you've downloaded some sort of Trojan, these things are all available to the hacker to turn your stuff on and off and see exactly what you're doing. Is it likely to happen? No. Can it happen? Yes. And I've said it before, even paranoids have enemies. So you've got to think about these things. You know, Years ago, nobody had to think about them because these kinds of nefarious deeds were not available. Now they are. And so it's not a question of can we do it, it's a question of should we do it, and nefarious people will do it. All right, Windows 8. And those are the two things that I wanted to get on about Windows 8 was logging into the Microsoft network, which allows your computer to sync up with everything else that you have, or being a limited local, not a limited user, a local user, which limits you. It doesn't allow the computer to synchronize with all the other computers. It does not go on the Microsoft network. And in that case, you can't get new stuff unless you're downloading stuff for the desktop. If you're downloading full-blown applications for the desktop, then you can download them, what we call side loading. You can load it from a CD, a DVD, or download it from the internet itself and side load onto your desktop. You cannot side load apps. Or you can, but it's not recommended that you do it. Okay. Questions, concerns, things that don't work.
When I clean my computer, at the end it says there's usually two choices. You know, we're going to shut down your computer and can we do it now? Or do you want to fancy this, that, and the other kind of choice? And it always says not recommended after it. Well, if it's not recommended, why do they offer you it? What is it? I've never clicked because it's not recommended.
Yeah. Updates, you should restart your computer right away after updates are done. Or if you're at the end of the day, you've shut your computer down, or you're shutting your computer down after it's taken an update sometime during the day, it will say loading the updates. Do you want to restart or you just want to shut down? You can shut down. The updates will load onto your computer and then they will load themselves into the computer system the next time you start up tomorrow morning. It wants you to, if you get this prompt in the middle of the day, it's not a good idea to leave it until the end of the day. If you're in the middle of the day and you want to get stuff done, just go ahead and make the restart. Now, when it says not recommended, what it's simply saying is that if you've taken an update for a vulnerability on your computer and this patch has fixed it, it's not fixed until you do the restart. It's not fixed until you do the restart. The same thing holds true for Adobe products, your Adobe Reader, your Flash player. It's not recommended that you take the update, then wait to restart, because you're still vulnerable. So do the restart to stop the vulnerability from happening. That's the reason to do that.
Am I able to call this tutorial up on YouTube now? I'm a little hungry. Can I go through
You can try it.
try and get it?
I will be sending you a link to this tutorial. This camera setup that I have is also recording the whole session. I will be editing down the whole session for you with your questions and concerns and my answers, and hopefully then I will send you a link to what I got off the camera plus any videos that I've used in the lesson.
I would sit home quietly by myself and go through this again.
The other thing that I'm going to do too, now that I'm filming this, and you have something that you want to know about an application that I think everybody should know, I now have the capability on my Office machine to do video screen captures and voiceovers. So I will be able to just take 2 minutes and show you if you have a problem with a word processor, show you how to overcome your problem in the word processor, and if I think everybody else will get something from it, I'll send it to Fred in an email, and there will be a link to that. So hopefully over the next while we'll be doing more and more and more with video. That's really where I want to take this. Other questions?
Well, now you're saying Windows Explorer on all these newer things, and I mean I've avoided it like plague on my XP and gone to Chrome. And
Yes.
Using Chrome exclusively. I Mozilla, I have Firefox too, but I use Chrome. Am I going to be going back to Windows Explorer because it comes with the...
Well, if you're going to use it as an app from the tile screen, that's what you're going to be using is Windows Internet Explorer. If you can download Chrome to the desktop and use it there. I don't think Chrome comes as an app, but you can download Chrome. It will go into this list of apps and applications that you have. Okay, and so if you're in the tiled menu, you can click on that down arrow, go over to that, click on it. It will open Chrome in the desktop.
Okay, in the desktop.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And of course, they come with their, you said that if we didn't put in an antivirus, that Windows
Defender
would kick in.
is the
Reliable.
it's a reliable service. It's Windows Microsoft Security Essentials on steroids. You always in Vista and in Windows 7 you always had the Windows Defender option available to you, but it had to be started from a command line to make it go through your computer and find its viruses and stuff. Now they just call it Windows Defender, and it is in fact Microsoft Security Essentials, and that works very well. If you're paranoid with enemies, you can buy the commercial products. And if you're going to buy a commercial product, do some investigation about what the best products are out there now. Just Google them up, do the searches. The absolute best product on the market now is an antivirus called ESET. ESET. Yeah. And that's probably the absolute best, but it is a little expensive, and it can be...
Does it have a free version?
No, it's a paid version, and...
Not that desperate. Not that terrified, but still, I like to have precautions. So.
Yeah, but Security Essentials, Windows Defender, if you will, is as good as anything. If you don't use Internet Explorer, you use Chrome or Firefox. Chrome is still in the lead as far as being a better browser. Still in the lead. It's getting a little bulky. It's getting a little. It's getting a fuller feature set, and when you talk about a full feature set, that means that there's a lot of bloatware in it. So but it's still the better browser to use than Internet Explorer, as far as I'm concerned. Yes?
I think it's ever since I put malware bytes on. Now when I go into where my Windows Defender is, into the control panel to look and see, it's turned off.
Yeah.
Okay, it's supposed to be?
I kept on trying to turn that and thinking, that's got to be on.
Well, you're using Malwarebytes exclusively, and you bought the Pro version, right?
No. Free version. I had the free
Okay.
What happened was when I first put it on, I made a mistake and I put the trial thing.
Yes. Okay.
As usual. And so I got it changed to the yearly one, and then there's two things that you can't turn on. You have to buy the full version.
Yes.
To work. So what I do, I scan it every single day. And if I do anything on the computer, I scan it right after, just to,
Yeah, protect, yeah.
but the Windows Defender is not on.
Yeah.
And I thought it was supposed to be.
I had Malwarebytes on here, and I took it off. I'm sorry. If you open up Malwarebytes to its main window, if you look around there carefully, there will be on the lower right. I think it's on the third line down on the lower right. There will be an entry to turn off the Trial Pro version.
Right.
That should turn Windows Defender back on again. It should. You may have to go in and turn it on manually. But what that does is it turns Malwarebytes off until you launch it.
Right,
Right now, it's launching as the computer starts.
okay.
All right? So,
Myself, I thought it wasn't.
and that's what's keeping Windows Defender from launching on startup. Okay? So try that, and we'll see. If not, I will look into it a little further. I'll have Malwarebytes put back on here, and we'll look at it further.
Which one do you get now?
Say again?
You don't use the Malwarebytes anymore, is there a better one that's?
Well, I don't use this computer but once a week.
Oh,
That's
okay.
for this.
Don't think good antiviruses have malware, or is it not an adequate malware? Is it kind of just a little? Yeah, I have the-
Some of the antivirus programs are getting into the malware business as well. Now, it all has to do with how antiviruses work and how malware works. An antivirus looks for virus-like activity, and the thing that it looks for is, can the program replicate itself onto another computer? Somewhere in the code it will find that piece of code that says, I have this capability of replicating myself on another computer. If that's the case, it's a virus. And it has a list of the virus programs it knows about that do this. So it will look through its list and make a comparison and say, oh, this is a virus. We will stop here and remove the virus. Hopefully. Malware, on the other hand, does not, in fact, replicate itself on another computer on your network. It's just a program. And as just a program, if it doesn't have these virus-like activities, your antivirus doesn't know anything about it. And so the program will sit there, it will call out to the internet, hey, I found a safe place to play, and it will call its friends. And the next thing you know, these things start to load and load and load in the background. They don't give you any warning, they are just there. It can be anything from a coupon clipper program where, if you do the couponing thing, which they are useless anyway, to things like registry cleaners and stuff like that. Some of the really bad ones load all kinds of other malware on your computer after you've loaded that on. It says, oh, I found a safe place to play. I'm not being molested here. Come on in, boys. And the next thing you know, you've got 30 other programs that you didn't want sitting in your add remove programs or your programs and features. You go looking through there and say, where did this come from? And there they are. They're all in there and running in the background, by the way, taking up resources and getting in the way.
Did you hear that thing on the news this past week about smart TVs?
Oh,
They've
yes.
got the microphone built in, and they can sit and listen to you, foul mouth people and everything, and it's reported to somebody.
I probably melted their ears off.
Whoa, boy, I think they can hear what's
Now, now let's not start spreading false rumors here. That is not the case. You have a smart TV, and yes, it does listen to you. And yes, if it hears something that you want it to be done, smart TV, turn on YouTube.
That's right, yes.
It will go to the internet and parse your voice to make sure that it understands the command that you're giving it, and then it will do what you ask. Does it report your conversations to whomever?
That's what they said on the news.
No, it does not. Let's not start spreading rumors, please.
Bell does though. I know somebody who phoned somebody up from really. This is just his friend. I'm going to be around there with a gun, you're going to die. Yeah, this is his dog.
Well, who reporter? You know. So, I think we've pretty much beaten this to death.
It's good to know that
I'm going
it's
to,
out there, that tutorial.
if this video turned out, it'll be up online in a day or two, and I'll send Fred the links to it, and then you can have a look at it.